Happy May Day's Eve, Echo Cluster. I'm Commander Koski. I've got my May Day hat and some meat. And I'm going to now make a video for you about how to make your turn faster without any add-ons. And this is an important topic because when we start a game, we have one planet, one medium deep space reactor, one starbase. But you are quickly starting to get more ships, planets, starbases. In this video we'll go to my crystal game, which is on turn 101, and there I have 241 starships, 211 planets and 83 starbases. And there's a lot of manage, and it was already in the quite beginning phase when we hit the ship limit. I already had something like 90 ships. So our game, Planets, is the kind of game that punishes the player who is in the best position. The better your game goes, the more you get planets, the more you get ships, the more you get starbases. There's more to do. So if you are a good player, you can easily have only one game and you have more than enough work in that one game. If you have hundreds of units to move and assign tasks to every turn, there's a lot of work to do. So don't take too many games. I'm a perfect living example about how you can get a lot more achievement points from finished games than from resigned games. So I advise you to concentrate those games where you are winning. But so about those little hints about how to make your turns faster, because even though you would have just one game, you still want to get it done at some point. Well, first, when I start a turn, this here, first I look, of course, the VCRs, the combat recordings. I have checked them already for this turn. Then I look for reports. I check the main titles. Here go to distress calls, what's going on and so forth, and have an overall look on the map. Then I usually have some most important places on the map, the most important theaters of war. For example, here I've been assaulting these star bases, here I've been assaulting these planets, and here I've been assaulting these planets. So if I start the turn, I usually start from the most where the action is hottest. And the reason is that if you for some reason lack time and later on you can't find the time to do your turn properly, at least you have moved the most important ships. So that's why it's quite smart to start from the hotspots, the most interesting places. And also, second reason is that it's often the case that after you've done your moves, you from sometimes you get the idea of how to do it better. So if you start with the most important places, you've got more time during your turn to change your opinion than if you would leave them to the last. Okay, I start with those. Then I start by assigning starbases, planets and ships. And with ships, after I've done all the most important places, I just use the spacebar, quick key, and go through them first, and all the easiest mark ready all the easiest moves. So I get the amount of ships that require movement smaller. And now we already went to the tips. So 6 little things I advise you to do in each of your games so you would make your turns faster. First of all, I mentioned that quick keys. So by pressing keyboard keys you can make certain actions. For example, if you have a starbase, ship or planet, you by clicking the R key, ready key, you can click the unit ready or permanently ready until it does something peculiar, like a starbase makes a build, it goes off from the permanently ready. And so in this game I for example have over 80 starbases, but as the turn starts it shows here that only 14 starbases need orders, and the reason is that all the rest of the starbases have a build there, and I have marked them 2 times with double check to ready. So during those turns I don't need to use my time to those. So okay, checkbox is important, quick keys are important. Then automation. From the beginning, when I go to a planet, if it's a normal planet, I drop some supplies and money there, and then I will, from here where you can build mines, factories and defenses, I set the automatic build limits. And after that I will just double check the planet and forget it for the rest of the game. So I only manage those planets with a lot of natives. So what I do to them is that I adjust the tax limit, the taxation a little bit, but it's usually only 12, 13, 15, 20 planets every turn, even if you have 200 planets. Okay, then color coding. Color coding can be pretty powerful, especially in classic planets games, which I often play. I often even begin my turns by going through the builds that have been done during that turn in starbases, and I often look from the starbases in ID order where is the build queue going to normal build queue, and I will color the next 10 planets, starbases, with a certain color by clicking the planet and changing custom color, and then I can the following 10 planets with a different planet color and the following 10 planets in ID order with different color. And this helps me a lot to assign the freighters to bring the important resources and material to those planets which are going to build next. Okay, then a small handy trick. Usually when assigning movements to ships, it takes for me most of the time these big stacks of ships. It's somehow difficult to remember what were they doing, which ships belong together, and it just feels like a mess. But you can get some kind of order there by making notes there, like I've named here this strike team alpha, this strike team alpha, this strike team alpha, by writing a note there, so they are like the same battle group. So it helps me a tiny bit, but helps to remember which ships belong together. And then predestined flight routes. For example, when you press and hold the shift key, you can make waypoints, and these are each 1 turn, and this I use quite a lot. On this turn, this happens to be a turn where I haven't been using that much, but it's very useful because especially when I scroll with spacebar to do the ships, those ships you can usually just mark as ready, so they are easy when I have already thought about the flight routes for many turns ago. So okay, these 6 handy tricks: checkboxes, remember checkboxes, quick keys, automation, color coding, fleet notes, predestined, flight routes. And let's look now when I use these and make some movements here. Okay, so I start with the star bases. Okay. I'm going to make some sacrificial ships here. Let's try this one. I'm going to block the queue just by using priority build 5. Okay, that's the way I use star bases, then planets. I'm going to just randomize the friendly code, double click it and go to the next one. Taxation is okay. Randomizing friendly code, double click the next one. Okay, this is the way I handle planets. Then to starships. This one will go in here. Liaison webs. Okay. Next one. This one will be in here. Waiting, cloaking, lurking. Okay. I don't want to think about this yet. On this one. On this one. Let's click a completely different area here. Okay, this can just stay here. This one can... I'm not going to show. This one can lurk there. This one can start. Stay there because the game is gonna end. Yep. But that's the way I play this game. So, thank you for watching. I hope this gives you some idea about what it looks like. What does the game look like when it's in the end phase? How much work it is? What kind of strategies one can use to do the turns? What kind of approaches one can have? And then those handy little tips to help everything go a little bit smoother. Please, thank you for watching. Send questions, send requests for new topics to the comments of the film, and see you next time in the Echo Cluster.